Welcome to the video. It's that time of year again, the time of year that always takes me by surprise, and I have no idea why, because it's my favourite time to shoot. I always seem to forget about it until it's right in front of me. A couple of days ago, I was out on my run and boom, there were the autumn colours. Right below my feet, I was crunching through the leaves, had to stop for a quick few cheeky iPhone shots whilst I was running, and I got really inspired to come out and shoot with my camera today. So headed home and got a little planning on, got onto Google, got onto Instagram and got some inspiration for where to come and shoot, and also had to get my brain ticking again of a few little things to make sure that I planned this shoot well so that we could really get those colours to pop. So while I'm out here shooting, I thought I would share a few of those tips in terms of planning and how I shoot the autumn colours. You might find them useful to get the most out of your autumn photography, and indeed, hopefully, you might find some of the photographs and a few video clips inspirational as well. So, without further ado, let's get cracking. First things first, as always with photography, it's all about the lighting. 2 tips: either shoot when it's overcast as it is now. It may seem a bit flat, but it's way better than washing out all the colours with super bright sunshine and bluebird days. Secondly, the golden hour would be the perfect time to shoot. So that time around sunset and sunrise, where you get that really nice glowy look and the leaves will start to pop. Unfortunately for me, no sunshine today, so we're making do with the overcast, but I think it's going to work out just nicely. The second thing, and something I have to really remind myself of, is to vary my shot type. Typically I will shoot quite wide naturally in these scenarios, especially as I'm creating a video as well, and I've got my 24mm lens on, which is great for capturing those wide shots, pathways, etc., that get the whole scene in and pick up lots and lots of detail and colour. However, it is great to mix it up as well. So I've brought along my extension tubes because I don't actually own a macro lens, but this is a really nice way of turning a lens into a macro, and you can capture the details of the leaves and conkers and then any little bits and pieces that really add to the story. In my previous video, I made a video about creating mini collections and the value to doing that in telling the story. So if you want to check that out, you can up here. But it's a really nice way to come back with a full set of images as well as just 1 or 2 really amazing shots, and it really lends itself to adding to the whole story and the whole scene and the whole vibe. So make sure to vary it up. I'm also carrying a 50mm lens, which is one of my favourite lenses to shoot with, and it just enables me to kind of capture slightly tighter shots, still relatively wide, but it will add to the story as well. So mix it up, shoot different focal lengths, and even if you're shooting on your phone, remember on most mobile phones now there's a few different lenses that you can use. So try them out and see, have a little play, get creative and see what you can capture. Last, but by no means least, and leading on from the last point, is shot composition. So as well as picking the shot type, you want to have a think about composition. Things like leading lines are really important in these scenarios, especially for those wide shots. When I'm shooting wide in some woods like this, I'm always looking for a leading line from usually a path or a river or a tree line, because it can really focus the photo and draw your eye into the place where you want people to look. In addition, you can add a little person into those shots. So if you've got someone walking along, you can frame them nicely, potentially as a silhouette, and it really adds just a bit of scope to your photo and shows the kind of scale and how big the place is, and it really works well. Don't always think the people are getting in your way and annoying, because you can actually use them to your advantage. Of course, you can add some purposeful human element into it as well. Potentially takes some portraits or a self-portrait, because again it can really add a bit of variety and a bit of scope to the photos to mix it up, and it can show the colours off nicely and the contrast between a person and all of this beautiful woodland. In addition to that, think about the f-stop you're shooting at, because it will determine whether everything is in focus or whether just one tiny thing is in focus, especially when shooting those macro shots, because if you shoot a nice wide open aperture, it'll be really cool that you can pick up some detail, but the background will be blurred. So you might want to mix it up and try have a little play and see what you can make of that. In addition, similar with wide shots, it's sometimes quite nice to pick a bit of focus in the foreground, say some leaves, and then have the background all blown out. But it's all to play with and have a bit of fun with. It really doesn't matter. And a little extra bonus, if you can, when shooting full photography, I can't today, but you could get a little bit of elevation, and it really adds an amazing bit of perspective to autumnal photography, because you can get the tree tops. Obviously you could do this by getting to some elevation and doing a bit of a hike if you can get a nice vista over the top of the trees, or of course you could put a drone in the air if you have one. I do have one, but today is not the day to do it. I don't think I can fly here, but well worth giving it a go if you have those choices at hand. So I hope you found this video useful, bit of inspiration and a few little reminders maybe to think about shot composition, what you're going to shoot, what kind of details you're going to bring together, and hopefully you'll end up with a nice set of photos. And even if you don't live in the most spectacular area, there's always something to be had, especially if you put those little tips into play, because you can shoot macro. You don't have to get these wide open vistas. If you go on Instagram, you might be a bit overwhelmed with the incredible photography of places like Maine in the US, which just have the most incredible scenes which will blow your mind, but potentially not a possibility where you live. Still get that out there and shoot, because the colour will be amazing and you can really make something of it if you want to. So if you did enjoy the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, more to come, and I'll see you in the next one.
Just